In two-point perspective, there are two vanishing points. We're going to be creating 3 cubes using two-point perspective in a similar way to how we did them with one-point perspective. In the end, it will look something like this. Let's begin by turning your sketchbook horizontal. You're going to draw a horizon line across the center of your page. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then on either end of the horizon line, you're going to draw a vanishing point. You will have 2 vanishing points. I suggest that you label your vanishing points. One of them will be called vanishing point 1. You can simply just say VP1. And the other one will be vanishing point 2. All right, once you've done that, you're going to begin using your ruler, of course. You're going to create a vertical line above your horizon line, approximately in the center of your page. It's okay if it's not perfect. The line should not be too long. Next, from the top of your vertical line to the vanishing point 1, you're going to draw a converging line, like so. Next, you're going to line up your ruler to the bottom of that vertical line and draw a line towards vanishing point 1. You'll notice that any new step is drawn with a red line. You can always see which step we're on by noticing what red line you see. So we've drawn 2 converging lines from our vertical line, which will be the corner of our square or our cube. We've drawn them towards vanishing point 1. We're going to do the same thing towards vanishing point 2. So you're going to line up your ruler to the top of your vertical line and draw a converging line towards vanishing point 2. Once you've done that, you're going to do the same thing from the bottom of the vertical line towards vanishing point 2. Please remember that you can pause this video anytime. You can also rewind it. Your next step is going to be to close the box. And we know that what happens in the front happens in the back. So if in the front of our box, or for our purposes here, the corner of our box, we have a vertical line, we're going to have a vertical line closing our side of our box back here. The vertical line that we're going to draw is going to go between our 2 converging lines that lead towards vanishing point 1. So line up your ruler to your vertical line, drag your ruler over towards vanishing point 1, make sure that your ruler is still parallel to both your vertical line and the edge of your page, and then draw a vertical line in between those 2 converging lines. It doesn't really matter how far back towards your vanishing point you go, you're just determining how long your box is going to be. So I suggest putting it similarly to where I have it, which is about 1/4 of the way through the page. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. So line up your ruler to your vertical line, drag it towards vanishing point 2, and draw a vertical line. Please make sure that that vertical line is parallel to the other 2 that you have and to the edge of your page. That's the only way to make sure it looks correct. The next thing we have to do is we have to close the box. Now, because we're looking at the box above us, we have to see the bottom of the box. If something is above you, you usually see the underside of it. So when we're doing the bottom of the box, it's actually a little confusing here. You're going to go to the opposite vanishing point. So what I want you to do is line up your ruler to the bottom of the vertical line that you just created, that line. And you're going to line it up, instead of going this way, we already have that line. You're going to line it up to vanishing point 1 and create a line, like so. Now you're going to do the exact same thing to the opposite vertical line. So you're going to line up your ruler to the bottom edge of this vertical line and to vanishing point 2 to create a converging line like so. What you should notice is you've just created the underside of this cube. You've finished creating your first two-point perspective cube. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a cube on the horizon line, which means that it's at our eye level. we're looking directly at it, so we won't see the top or the bottom. So you're going to start by drawing a vertical line directly underneath the vertical line that was the corner of the first cube you created, like so. So you don't want it to be too long because it will then intersect with the converging lines of the cubes you've already created. We're going to do the exact same thing we did in the above cube. You're going to use the top of your vertical line and line it up to the vanishing point that's on your left, vanishing point 1. Draw a line. You're then going to line it up from the bottom of the vertical line to vanishing point 1. Next, you're going to go the opposite direction, from the top of the vertical line to vanishing point 2, and from the bottom of the vertical line to vanishing point 2. Remember that you can pause this video at any time. We now have to close the box. Line up your ruler to your vertical line. Slide your ruler over towards vanishing point 1. You may want to end this box similarly to where you ended the box above, so it's alright if it's lined up to the vertical line above. Now it is confusing because our horizon line goes through the center of this cube. Make sure that you're paying attention to where the converging lines are that hit the verticals of the corner here. So once you've lined up your ruler and slid it over, you're then going to draw a vertical line in between those two converging lines. It will have the horizon line going through the center. Do the same thing for the other side. Line up your ruler to your vertical line, drag it over towards vanishing point 2, and close the side of that box. Now I know this doesn't exactly look like a box, especially because the horizon line is going through that, and we'll solve that later. For now, we're going to create our third cube, which is going to be below our horizon line. So draw that vertical line, which will end up being the corner, just like we have the corner up here. We're now creating a corner down here, and hopefully you can guess the next steps. From the top of our vertical line to vanishing point 1. From the bottom of our vertical line to vanishing point 1. From the top of our vertical line to vanishing point 2. And from the bottom of our vertical line to vanishing point 2. We now have to close the box. Can you remember how to do it? You line up your ruler to your vertical line, slide it over towards vanishing point 1, making sure that that ruler is still parallel to the edge of the page and to your corner, and draw a vertical line in between those two converging lines. Do the same on the opposite side. Line up your ruler, drag it over towards vanishing point 2, and draw that vertical line. Now, just like we had to do with the box above, we're going to have to do a little crisscrossing here in order to close the top of the box. So what you're going to do is you're going to line up your ruler to the top of the vertical line that you just created. And you're going to line it up towards vanishing point 1, like so. You're going to do the same thing for the other vertical. So here we have our vertical that's on the left side of our page. Line up your ruler to the top of that vertical line and towards your vanishing point and draw a line. Congratulations, you have finished drawing 3 cubes. And what you need to do now is get rid of all of those extra converging lines that you don't need anymore. It might help to draw your cube using thicker lines around the spots that you know are part of the cube. So anywhere that's beyond the vertical edges of each cube needs to be erased. Anything beyond the vertical edges, like here, anything beyond here should be erased. As well, you're going to erase your horizon line through the center of the middle cube, and you should end up with something like this. Congratulations! Once you've done this and shown it to your teacher, you can move on to the next step.